Hello, I'm Peter Stevenson from Compassion in World Farming, and I'd like to speak about factory farming. There's increasing scientific recognition that the crowded, stressful conditions of industrial livestock production contribute to the spread and amplification of pathogens, some of which are zoonotic, that is, they can be transmitted from animals to people. A scientific opinion by the European Medicines Agency and the European Food Safety Authority says that the stress involved in intensive indoor large-scale production can lead to an increased risk of animals contracting disease. I want to look at avian influenza, also known as bird flu. The poultry sector tends to blame wild birds for bird flu. But a report by the Scientific Task Force on Avian Influenza, which includes the World Organization for Animal Health and the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, says that highly pathogenic bird flu originated in the poultry sector and that wild birds are the victims of this disease. They do not cause it. Until recently, the bird flu that circulated naturally amongst wild birds was usually of low pathogenicity. It generally did the birds little harm. It's when this virus gets into an intensive poultry shed that low pathogenic bird flu can evolve into dangerous, highly pathogenic bird flu. Industrial poultry production in which thousands of birds are crammed into a shed offers a virus a constant supply of new hosts. It's able to move very quickly among them, perhaps mutating as it does so. And in this situation, highly virulent new strains are likely to rapidly emerge. So the situation appears to be that low pathogenic bird flu was spread from wild birds into intensive poultry sheds, where it evolved into highly pathogenic bird flu, which then spilled over from the farms into wild birds, and even in some cases spilled back in an altered form from the wild birds into the poultry sheds in an increasingly vicious cycle. Industrial livestock production is dependent on the routine use of antimicrobials to prevent the diseases that are inevitable when animals are kept in poor conditions. And this leads to the development of antimicrobial resistance in the animals, which can then be transferred to people, so undermining some of the key medicines which are needed to treat serious human disease. We need to move to health-oriented systems in which good health is inherent in the farming methods rather than being propped up by routine antimicrobial use. So what would these health-oriented systems look like? Well, they would avoid high stocking densities and very large flocks and herds. They would minimize stress, as stress undermines animals' immune systems. They would ensure that animals can engage in their natural behaviors because inability to do so is highly stressful. There'd been no early weaning of pigs, as this is a key factor in the high use of antimicrobials in the pig sector. These health-oriented systems would have good air quality because high levels of ammonia, dust, carbon dioxide can lead to respiratory disease. And they would avoid the use of animals genetically selected for very fast growth and high yields, as these animals are vulnerable to pathologies and immunological disorders. In conclusion, If we want to minimize the risk of disease in animals and people, we need to move away from industrial livestock production towards healthy, humane, and health, or in particular, health-oriented systems for rearing animals. If you want to know more, please visit my biography on AC Audio, where you'll see some of my articles on these issues. Thank you.